Hi everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk, and thank you very much for joining me today. I've made this little box today. Now it's one of your bog standard pizza box style boxes on the outside, and I've made quite a few of these in my time, but when you open it up, inside I have made a partition that holds my 4 Yankee candles nice and separate. Now, won't lie to you, there is a little bit of work involved in this one, and it can be a little bit fiddly when it comes to putting it all together, but if you were wanting to give something that's a little bit delicate that you wanted to keep separate in transit, then this kind of box might be very useful. And if you stay with me, I'll show you how I made it. These are the things that I'm going to be using today. This is Marina Mist card, and I've cut it to 5.5 inches by 10 inches. And this is Dapper Denim, and it is 6.25 inches square. I have a little piece of the Eastern Palace DSP, which is 3.25 inches square. I'm going to be doing some stamping, and I'm going to be using stamps from the Label Me Pretty set, and Versamark ink and gold embossing powder. And I'm going to be stamping and punching on these little scraps of Dapper Denim and Marina Mist. And I'm going to use the 1 3/8 inch circle punch and the Purity label punch. Beginning on the long side of the Marina Mist card, and I'm using the thick end of my embossing tool, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch, 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches, and 9 inches. And turning to the short side, I'm going to score it at 1 inch and at 4.5 inches. Whoops, that's jumped out to the right. Not to worry, nobody will see that. Alright, and this is going to be the outer shell of my box, and it's just an ordinary pizza style box. On my Dapper Denim piece, I'm going to score at 3/4 inch, whoops, 2 3/8 inch, so that's 2 1 3/8 inch, 3 1/8 inch, 3 7/8 inch, and at 5.5 inches. And I will put all of these measurements on my blog, alright? I will put the cutting diagrams on my blog, I promise. So I'm going to turn my card around, and I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to score again at 3/4 inch, 2 3/8 inch, 3 1/8 inch, 3 7/8 inch, and 5.5 inches. And that's all my scoring done. I've burnished all the folds, and I'm going to start creating the flaps that will go together to make the box. So I'm going to just snip along here, and here, and here, and here. And then I'm going to do the same on this side, to here, and to here, and to here, and to here. And I'm just going to take little slivers out of these pieces, just to reduce some of the bulk, and to make it all fit together a bit better. Just a little skinny triangle. These pieces, and before I go any further on this, there are a couple of things that I want to do. First of all, deciding which is going to be the top of the box and which is going to be the bottom. So I think that bit's got a stain on it somehow, so I'm going to make that the bottom, and this is going to be the top. And I've got a 1/2 inch circle punch here, and I'm just going to sort of centre that. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm just taking just a little half circle out of this edge, and that will help me when I come to need to open and close the box. And the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of my DSP. Now this is the specialty DSP. There are two specialty pieces that are in this stack that have foil on them, and those pieces are single-sided. All of the other papers in the stack are double-sided. They have a different pattern on each side. Okay, so I'm doing that now because it's much easier to cover the box while the box is still flat. Okay, and the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tape onto all of these flap pieces, but I shall do that off camera. Right, now this is the tricky bit, and I will put a cutting diagram on my blog, okay, because there is quite a bit of snipping and cutting that needs to happen here. So I'm going to begin by creating my corner flaps, just as I did on the other piece. And I'm going to kind of work my way around my four corners, just like that. Okay. Right, now we have two small squares here, and I'm going to snip up to the middle, and I'm also going to fold my card so I can get at it, and I'm going to snip in to the edges, and I'm going to again reduce the bulk, and I'm going to do the same on the other three sides. So we'll fast forward this bit. So now I have this shape, and I'm going to go into the middle, and I'm going to release those flaps just like that, and I'm going to keep two of them. One that's diagonally opposite and chop that one away. Okay. And this is the shape that I'm left with. I've burnished all my folds with a bone folder, and I've done all my snipping out, and I just want to point out that I have also snipped into these edges on these pieces so that I now have two flaps. And I've gone ahead and put tear and tape onto the small flaps, and I've put one there, then I've missed one there, and I've missed one there, and there, and I've missed one there, and there, and then I've missed one. Alright, and on the other side I have put tear and tape onto these pieces. So now I'm going to start to assemble the card. So I'm going to carefully take away part of the tear and tape there. I'm just going to bring that flap around onto that edge carefully. And this is a little bit fiddly. Okay, this box is a bit of a labour of love actually. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on this piece. And I'm not removing all the backing off the tear and tape just yet, because it does make things slightly easier to control. Okay, so now I've got a slightly weird shape going on here, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fold back that piece that's got the tape on it. I'm going to take away the tear and tape from both of these edges, and I'm going to bring that piece round and fold that over just like that. Okay, now it's looking a little bit strange at the moment, but it will all pull itself together in a minute. All right, so on this other piece here, I'm going to take away the backing, and I'm going to bring this one round into there, and I'm going to squish it up. Okay, and now I'm going to take the tape off these pieces, and I could probably have got away with one piece of tape around about here, but I didn't. So the piece that doesn't have any adhesive on, it's tucked in. Push that one back out of the way. Same on this side. The piece that doesn't have any adhesive on gets tucked in, and the other piece gets folded back out of the way, and I'm just closing that up. And now all I have to do is to take off these pieces of backing off the tear and tape and just create my liner. Next I'm going to do some stamping and embossing, and I'm going to start with the Dapper Denim card, and I'm going to give it a coating with my embossing buddy. I have my stamp already mounted up. So, some light tapping with the Versamark ink and press down. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the ink to transfer. Let's have a look at that, and that's done a pretty good job, I think. So let's put the embossing powder onto it carefully. Okay, I'll leave that just for 1 second while I do the same with a different stamp, and this is one that says "You're the best," and this is a piece of Marina Mist card, and a bit of Versamark onto the card. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the ink to transfer. Whoops, I've just scattered gold embossing powder over the table. I have to brush that up in a minute. And now I'm just going to heat these. Excuse me while I get the bits out of the way. So here's my box outer, here's my box liner, and I'm going to put a few spots of liquid adhesive along here just to keep it all in place. I could use a tear and tape or a fast fuse or even snail, but I'm going to use the liquid adhesive because I want to have a little bit of wiggle room. I want to make sure that I've got this in the right place. Okay, that's looking pretty good, and I have I've already got my tear and tape on the flaps here. So I just take the the backing off these 4 pieces, just like that. Okay, and let's bring this up and create the box. Now, the reason why I've put some liquid adhesive on there, on the sides here, is because this is just slightly too small for the box itself. And I am going to do some trimming of corners in a moment. But to make it any different size, you start to get into horrible things like 1/16 of an inch. And yeah, we're not going there. So we're just going to bodge it. And nobody's going to know. Okay, so I'm just going to snip away the excess along these corners. And that now sits nicely inside. And these pieces of tear and tape come off from here. Oops. Just going to wrap that into place. Just like so. And there's my box. Now it just needs a little bit of decoration to go on the top. So if So here are my stamped and 3, 2, 1. So here are my stamped and embossed pieces, and I'm just going to punch them out with the corresponding punches. Just taking my time, lining it all up. There you go. For this one, you're the best, it says. There you go. And let's have some dimensionals, because we can. And I haven't used these quite so much lately. I don't know what's got into me. Okay. Dimensional withdrawal. Just pop that onto there and pop that onto. What do you think? Dimensionals? Yes. Why not? Haven't used them for a while, but now we've got them here. Let's make the most of them. And there you go. Hop on over to my blog. I do promise I will put the measurements and the cutting diagram for this one. I don't always do it if it's fairly straightforward, but this one is a little bit more complicated and a little bit fiddly. So for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.